Welcome back to another episode of the High Performance Podcast. Hopefully I'm looking amazing on your screens if you're watching the YouTube version, because I finally worked out how to use my GoPro as a webcam. But then Harvey says it's coming through. The quality's not looking that good on his end. So who knows what's going on. Just before we hit record, we were sort of just discussing just some of the pains that technology gives you. And it's increasingly becoming a part of the business. You know what I mean? It's just unavoidable with the direction it's heading and growing. But fuck me dead. Just spent so many hours not uploading. What do you fucking call it? Updating my MacBook software, updating the GoPro software, going looking for cords for things and stuff today. Mate, I mean, this whole thing started out because I wanted to make a YouTube video, and then my Rode mic that I normally plug into my GoPro absolutely shat itself. So I was trying to figure out a way if I could use my GoPro as a webcam, then I could use my podcast mic, but now I've just got to find a way to record locally on the laptop using the webcam, which not 100% certain of because I just don't know about the photo booth quality. Anyway, that distracted me up until it was time to podcast, so I didn't get a YouTube video out today. So sorry, everyone. Had a sick fucking topic planned. Going to talk about the history of stress and just how that's sort of changed over the years and how that's impacted so many aspects of my coaching and the people that have paid attention to these transitions. But yeah, and there's probably a lot of people as well that are sort of dealing with these new paradigms in coaching, but don't fully understand the origins of a lot of it all. Like, why are coaches emphasizing collaboration? Where did all this like biopsychosocial approach sort of stem from? And again, like fundamentally, it has just come from our understanding of stress shifting around a little bit since Hans Selye. That's the seed. If you want go spoil it for yourself and look into it for yourself. Or I ran about it a lot in GPP Level 1 in the programming section in the intro to that. So you can check that out. Or you can go Google Hans Selye, look into that for yourself and see why we sort of started out with this really like purely biological view of stress and just like the trickle down implications of that. If you can't, there's a good chance you won't be able to connect the dots if you're just looking at the Hans Selye Wikipedia page. If you really want help connecting the dots on that, check out GPP Level 1. I also didn't say hey to Harvey. Harvey's also here on the show. I mean, if you're watching, you can fucking see him. But if you're listening per chance, you're like, is Angus fully solo and just absolutely flying solo today? No. I've got one co-host. Jacob is playing a rec league game of basketball and trying to get his first in-game dunk. So he can't join us. But again, he's busy doing GPP stuff. But Harvey, how are you today?
I'm good. It's actually funny. What you were saying before about like sitting down with your computer and just like wrestling the updates and everything. This week, so basically I bought my current laptop probably about 2 years ago, now I think about it. And basically the reason my last one died, it was just old anyway, but the thing that kind of tipped it over the edge was that whenever I'm doing these podcasts, the files for the video are like really big, and then the files for the audio are big, and it just takes up a lot of memory. And basically my laptop got to the point of full that like it couldn't function. It was like, I don't have memory to delete things. Like
I did that to my phone once. Yeah. Like you pushed in like the absolute last like kilobyte. Like forget about even like gigabytes, megabytes. It's like, or maybe even a byte. Not even like so perfectly topped up.
So when I bought this laptop, I was like, is that fuck happening again? So I bought one with a terabyte of storage in it, and I was like, I'm never filling this thing up, and I'm gonna like stay on top of it and clear it out. Anyway, the other day, I'm like, just like on the internet of a morning, just like checking in with the world. And it's like, gives me this thing and it's like, you got to close some applications. Like you do not have enough memory to run like Chrome basically. And I was like, fucking hell. So we must be at capacity. So anyway, I'm like, I close enough things to get it like kind of to the point where I can function. And then I'm like, I bring up my memory, like the storage thing to be like, okay, like what's going on? I'm like, well, I just obviously haven't cleared out the pod files in a while, like haven't backed them up and deleted them. So I like get my hard drive.
It's like gigs and fucking gigs. Consider yourself lucky I'm not making you edit my YouTube videos because that would be fucking doubling your storage needs.
Oh, bro.
Because I've got the terabyte on the phone and it's phenomenal. It's fucking phenomenal. I need the terabyte on the laptop.
Oh yeah, no, you do. It's a fucking game changer. It does make it fucking heavy, but it's sick. Anyway, so I get my hard drive out, plug that in, and my hard drive is like shitting itself now. And I'm like, I've got a few hard drives, but I haven't had time to like try and fix this one because it's just not showing up, and I'm like, I really kind of fucking need you right now. Anyway, wrestle that for a bit, and I'm like, fuck, okay, I need to buy myself some time here because I don't know what's going on with this hard drive situation. So I'm like, people always say like, you know, clear out your downloads folder. People are always like, you'd be surprised how much shit there is in there. Like, you know, blah, blah, blah. If you ever need some memory, good place to start. So I'm like, fuck it, maybe that'll buy me a bit of time, right? So I empty my downloads folder. 400 gigs later.
Oh, yeah, that's pure.
400 gigs later, my laptop's like, oh, yeah, we're fine.
Taking a spade to that thing and just digging out some space. That's huge.
Like, honestly, there was like on the breakdown it gives you of like where you're like what files are using up the most data. I just noticed that like there's like a grey bit called system data that just kept getting bigger and bigger, and like my music creation thing wasn't getting much bigger. But I was like, what the fuck is this system data? And then yeah, it was the downloads. Anyway, I cleared like 400 gigs in like one fell swoop and was fucking sick.
Sorry, just while you were finishing off that story.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to show mine and Harvey's local pizza joint did the most, like the hardest merch collab of 2025 so far. They made Kappa soccer jerseys, and I picked one up today, and I'm just really stoked on it. I don't know. Like, there's part of me that like is like, no, I like to like think about the way I dress and stuff, but then there's another part of me that's like scared to admit that because then people are like, nah, you dress like fucking dog shit half the time. I'm like, all right, whatever. But anyway, like. Every now and then when I wear something a bit different, a lot of people mess me like, that's fucking mad. So, you know, a lot of people were doing crop tops while the weather was good, but, you know, obviously we're heading into winter here in Australia. So I'm like, I think soccer jerseys and just jerseys in general, that might be the vibe for winter. It's not going to be good for rack and cleans. Like, I think they're going to be sliding off the chest, but I'm just going to do it because it's more important to look good when you're lifting, I think. Especially as a content creator. Like, well, I'll do my best to lift the big weights, but I want to look schmick when I'm doing it. And that's a fucking mad. I want to get some rare jerseys though. You know what I mean? I don't want your classic fucking Man United, red and white. Like, again, we talked about the fucking high school casual clothes day look, wearing your favorite soccer jersey and the jeans. I want to bring that back, but just with a bit more, you know, some exotic specials, you know, some goalkeeper away jerseys or like special. That's not it. Anyway.
Hell yeah.
I'll keep everyone updated how the search goes for that. Yeah, Harvey, please respond. What do you reckon about that?
I was just going to ask how much it was.
$70.
Oh.
I would have paid well overs for that. Well overs.
That seems cheap.
Yeah. Dude, the Ciro's is fucking... I mean, the pizza's outrageous, but they just keep blowing up and blowing up. That it's going to be interesting to sort of see what happens with it in the long term, because long term, I know that it's going to be developed into apartments and stuff like that. So it's like Mac's got 2 years left in its current location, but whatever, they'll be able to do what they want. I'll be very curious to see what they do when they get forced out of there.
Is that actually happening? Like, are they still like battling against that game?
I'm 99% sure at most it'll just get delayed a little bit, but we won't bore everyone with local politics and happenings like that. But check out Ciro's Pizza, because I believe there could be some international shipping, and to my surprise, like, they didn't sell out immediately, which I was a little bit shocked by. So they might be sold out by the time this podcast drops, because we're recording on Wednesday, the 21st of May. But if you like the look of that, check out Ciro's Pizza. Maybe it's Ciro's Pizza Thirul. It'll come up because, again, it's quite popular these days. And like I said, they might even be able to get a couple overseas. What else has been happening in my world? The king, the great man, Volkanovski. I think we announced on the show how our previous mayor was a bit of a shit cunt, and he didn't want to give Volk the keys to the city because he wasn't into violence. I think he was a former priest or some shit like that, which that's mad, but like, don't deny my king the keys to the city. Like, he where do I even fucking start? It's the biggest like Meryl Streep fucking, you know, really, like mixed martial arts isn't the fucking arts. Like, remember that shit? Those sorts of vibes from that, because his character is so amazing. Like, he competes in a combat fucking sport. And like, yes, in MMA, there are a lot of degenerates, John Jones, Conor McGregor, but Volk, that's what makes him so good. He's a standout. Like, The only person that holds a candle to GSP in terms of being a champ in the UFC and being a good man, GSP. But I think Volk is even a way better role model than him. Like fucking, he didn't have a family or not that there's anything wrong with not having kids and a wife or anything like that. But as far as like just really good values and being an inspiration to our whole fucking, the world, let alone our tiny little town, Wollongong. Yeah, I just thought it was insanely disrespectful. Anyway, we've got a new mayor in, female, much more progressive. And she's giving Volk the keys to the city. So she's got my vote. Whatever she gets up to, I don't care what she does. She'll have my vote in the next election, assuming I remember to show up to local elections, which I am prone to just, if I'm a bit busy, sometimes I skip the local election. Okay, I've become better. I think, at exercising my democratic right to vote, you have to be grateful for that. And I think it's pretty important to show up for like national elections and even state elections. I should shut the fuck up. You should go vote. I'm a piece of shit for not voting in local elections. There is a lot of corruption in our local council. No, can I call myself? I'm disenfranchised.
Yeah.
Still no excuse, is it?
No, it's a weird one because I don't know. I often get in this way of thinking about voting because, and I'm sure a lot of other people do as well. And I'm sure if you live in a region or an area that's like a swing state or a swing location, wherever you're born, it's not a state.
With Wollongong being such a Labour stronghold.
Yeah, I think it's easy to get complacent about it living where we live because, well,
that was my original shtick. Like, I'll sort of explain myself. I'm not going to lie, I skipped a few federal elections when I was younger. For that reason, I was like, my vote doesn't count. But then it was just like, I don't know. It was more just seeing other countries that aren't democratic. I was like, I should just vote out of gratitude. Anyway. Getting political. Actually, if we're getting political, we should acknowledge the children of Gaza that are currently getting annihilated. If Israel could stop that, that would be good. That should always be acknowledged. I think we'll get out of international politics for now, but I did just want to quickly say that. If you don't know what's going on in Palestine, it's not good. Palestine kind of getting genocided a bit. And just some of the shit I've seen on Instagram. Actually, no, yeah, this is why I actually couldn't watch it. Like some of the footage I'm seeing of the shit that's happening to children in Palestine, I can watch some shit. I've watched some people die on Reddit. You know what I mean? It was just fucking heinous. I don't know what we can do about it, but I guess talking about it is good. Being silent about it definitely doesn't help, I guess. If you want to learn more about the general physical preparation training philosophy, we put together an extremely practical course covering all the different aspects of physical preparation, as well as a unit on programming, so you know how to tie it all together and produce the same world-class results that we get with our athletes. We've got pre-recorded lectures, a community page where you can ask questions and interact with the other GPP coaches, as well as monthly calls where you can ask questions live or just catch up and hang out with us. Check out the link in the show notes for more info. Anyway, back to the show. Back to the original point I brought up before we derailed ourselves with some local, federal and global politics. Volkanovski, I might have a chance to get a photo with him, shake the great man's hand. I'm so fucking G'd about that opportunity. I don't know, because he's getting the keys to the city in a ceremony. And they're saying there'll be Q&A time, but they didn't specify meet and greet. So I'll be a little bit nervous because I won't want to miss out if there is sort of an opportunity. So I'll have to have my wits about me and just be looking for opportunities to just snag a pic with the great man. Or maybe I will get a chance to ask him. I don't even know. I don't have any questions though. I just want to glaze him. Like, you know how you and Jacob are always like, and a lot of people have said like, oh, you should try to get Volkanovski on the podcast. Like, it'd just be just glaze, pure glaze. And that's not that interesting. That's just a waste of the great man's time. You know what I mean? I can sit here and glaze him for like 90 minutes without him being here. Let him spend time with the kids. Let him go train. Let him go recover. Yeah, because that was a thought that went through my head. I was like, what the fuck do I have to ask? I just want to be like, thank you for changing my life and helping me believe in myself when I was like struggling to just when I was a little bit like, can I do certain things? And honestly, like I go there regularly. I'm like, Volk has just done some shit that I just never thought was possible. So, just have a fucking cry. I don't know how that relates to me because I'm not Volk, but it's inspiring, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I still get him on the pod. Like, I think
What are you gonna ask?
Like, you're gonna ask. You're the host. I just produce this shit. But like, ask him whatever.
What's the most meters you've ever hit in a local game of footy?
Say to him.
I'm interested in that.
Say to him when you were, when you're closing in on, I don't know, like, say whatever you fucking say. Like, be like, you have the best ground and pound in the UFC. Do you do
he
anything?
Does. No, yeah.
Do you do anything in
point.
particular to hone in on that, or is it just natural instinct? Like, like ask him things like that. Ask him about training. Ask him about, I don't know, how he balances training and, also having a life outside of training. Ask him all kinds of shit.
No, I don't, because I fantasize about Volk training, just like GPP. I don't want to ruin that little fantasy, but he's got a local S&C coach who's pretty solid. It's really good. It's just not specifically how I train him. It's very high quality S&C that Volk's getting. He's actually prepping Paul Gallen as well for his next fight. Only the Aussies will sort of know about that. The weather's getting colder, and I just catch the urge to fly to Bali. Just, God, so many days when I'm on my morning beach walk, if there's not good waves and the weather's a little bit cold, I'm just like, you could be in Bali tonight. You could just fucking go. And then I remember I can't risk getting Bali belly. Like, training is going so well. I just need to get through push, pull, run. And then the month of training after that, I've got to really dial in for that. Knock off that 140 kilo clean before I jet off to New Zealand. That's the other thing. I'm starting to see clips come through because I follow a couple of surf photographers in New Zealand and just like a couple of surfing content creators from New Zealand. And they've had a really good autumn, really good early winter. It is just driving around through the most like beautiful terrain you've ever seen in your fucking life in search for pumping waves. With one of my best mates, I cannot fucking wait. It's going to be so good. I'm going to vlog a bit of it as well. Like I uploaded some surfing clips last time I went to New Zealand on a surf trip. Kind of did like a bit of a vlog style surf thing. And because I was like, will people want to watch this sort of thing? Like, I was sort of talking about fitness and stuff like that, but I was just kind of yakking and surfing a lot, just sort of generally. And it didn't do that well. But I'm like, I think I could. Well, there's just this other part of me that was like, I think I want to vlog that and make content out of it, more just for myself, if anything. No, you know what else sparked up that urge? You see Nature Boys?
No.
Do you know about that phenomenon, the YouTube channel?
Maybe. Remind me.
You've probably seen clips of his referenced in memes and stuff like that, because it's sort of at that point of, like, if someone was like, I don't know, I show speed, you'd be like, you would have seen him clipped on social media most likely, unless you have a really strange algorithm. Like, they're almost that big. So Outdoor Boys, it's just like this family man. I don't know how old he is. He could be anywhere between like mid 40s to early 60s. Yeah, he's got young kids. He wouldn't be that old. And they just do a lot of outdoor shit. He started out with a fishing channel that he sort of blew up to 1 million followers. And then I'm assuming, because I only really started watching him. Sorry, I think Outdoor Boys itself has only been going for like 18 months. I think it might have been going for under 2 years. Anyway, he originally had a fishing channel that he got to 1 million subscribers, and then he started a new one, Outdoor Boys. I'm guessing he thought to himself like, oh, right, like I'm not limited to fishing. I know how to make good, engaging content. But when I say it, typically when we talk about like, good content creators in this day and age, it's a lot like quick editing and stuff like that. A lot of stuff that's trending towards brain rot. He's definitely one of these content creators that I know has just been so palate cleansing for people. It's just really long format, a lot of 40-minute. He has a lot of like hour-long, even like hour and a half, 2-hour videos on YouTube. And it's just amazing scenery, going on wholesome adventures with the family. Not that. He'll also like, not always with the family. He'll trek miles and miles and miles into fucking whoop whoop in the middle of Alaska and like just dig a hole to sleep in the middle of a fucking snowstorm and shit like that. But anyway, so it's massive, and like I said, it is just so refreshing to see long form content like that. Don't get me wrong, it's really well put together and it's tidy, but it's more just like high quality camera, good audio, and he's just like a thoughtful sort of person with a cool family. Like, his kids are pretty funny as well. But anyway, so yeah, he posted a video about 4 days ago, and he's like, "Hey, I'm ending the channel." As much as it was really sad, like there was an aspect of it that made me really happy because I think he just made so much fucking coin. I think he's sweet. I think they can just go around. Like they're already living pretty good, traveling around making content. But he was like, it's so big now. Like getting like 15 million views. Averaging, I think, like close to 5 million views on a video. And he was like, I just think about my kids and stuff like that. And like, because he has to turn the comment section off. Sorry, no, he has to. He does turn the comment section off on every single video. And at first I was like, why is that? But then I was like, he just doesn't want, because some cunts will say horrible shit about anyone. You know what I mean? Just like kids being kids and stuff like that. And whatever, even if they're not dorky or anything like that, people on the internet can just be horrible. So that shield them from that. But I'm guessing he's sort of just thinking about, I don't need to do this. But a little bit sad, you know what I mean? Or just feeling like a little bit whimsical and melancholy when he was sort of announcing his departure. I was like, fuck, just really started to enjoy this sort of stuff. Shout out to James George. I know he was really big into the Outdoor Boys as well. I mean, shout out to anyone who's mourning the loss of the Outdoor Boys. But like he said, he was like, mate, if my content has inspired you in any ways, like go fucking help someone else. And I'd like to think specifically what he meant by that is like, man, not just get out there in nature, but you know how there's that sort of that meme of the boys trip or even the girls trip, never leaving the group chat. And I was like, just that. Like, if anyone's listening, like fucking. Actually, I was thinking about this today. Shout out to Callum Burns because he is that cunt. He is the cunt that like any thing that's come up in the group chat as far as like a trip away with the lads. He digs it out of the group chat. He gets that crowbar. He's like, no. He'll even, he's like, the jobless ones, he'll be like, you start saving your fucking money. He's always up me about booking flights. He's like, Angus, I know you love to leave it last minute. He's like, you're not going to fucking miss out on this trip. Book your fucking flight. Know what you're like. He's the biggest facilitator of these trips. I'm his most loyal sidekick as well. I'm also like, not jobless, but like obviously I can work wherever I want. So I'm super flexible. He's not a school teacher, but is effectively on like a similar sort of calendar. So he gets like school holidays off and stuff like that. So that's when we do a lot of our big international trips. But yeah, just grateful to have someone like that in my life.
Yeah. Like, but that's hectic. It's funny what you were saying.
It's a good quality.
Big time. It's funny what you were saying about, was it Nature Boys? Outdoor Boys?
Outdoor Boys.
Wait,
go watch it. You'll love it. Put it on.
That's fucking Rick
If you want something to fall asleep to, it'd be perfect.
Yeah. Lord, just having Nature Boy is Ric Flair. But anyway, Outdoor Boys. Yeah. It's actually kind of crazy because when you were saying it there, I was like, God, isn't it funny how we used to watch TV shows and they would end? Like they just would.
Yeah.
And that would be it. And it'd be sad and everything, but it was like this like kind of nicely concluded like thing. And there was always that aspect of, is it going to get a bit shit before they end it? Or are they going to end it when it's like, really fucking doing things?
No, this guy, you cannot say this guy's fallen off. So in that respect, very well done.
No, but but it's funny because he's like you said, he turned the comments off and then he left it on his terms. And like, he has kind of treated it like a TV show from what it sounds like.
Not many people do that.
No. And it's kind of, it's fucking cool. And especially in the age of like, because that's kind of what YouTube allows you to do. YouTube like allows you to have your own TV show basically. And it's like, there's not many people that do that. Like even the dudes I know that are like, like super lo-fi are obviously just doing it to do it. Or, there's no like editing or anything like that. Even those, it's like, there's a lot of comments going on. There's a lot of comment interaction and all that. And like, yeah, I'm sure they'll end it on their own terms. But yeah, I don't know anyone who's like that, like, old school with it. Like, treating it like I said.
It inspired me it inspired me in a number of ways, obviously, but like, again, in a content creation way with my YouTube channel, it's like, because sometimes I do think like, what do my current followers want to see? I mean, and I think that comes from a good place, right? Like out of respecting that they've like followed me and like supported me. But then also it's like a bit of cowardice in a way where I'm like, no, like it's good. Just make good content, man. Make what you want to make, which I do. But like, there's obviously like, maybe it's more like this every now and then, just with some of the way I shape it. But then and you know what that is? what's outside of it, my overlap. It's like, oh no, some of them don't care about your surfing, Gus. Like it's just important to you, but a lot of a decent amount do. And like, and what is, yeah, anyway, fucking whatever. Get ready to see some of me absolutely ripping in New Zealand. With that being said, this was meant to be a fucking Q&A episode. So I hope you enjoyed a bit of yapping. That's what's going on in my life and going on through my brain. Let's get into the Q&A. The GPP group program is the best deal in strength and conditioning. For less than $1 a day, you get access to my programming as well as access to me through a group chat where you can reach out, ask questions, or have a form check. You can even get a week for free before you commit to it. Check out the show notes for more info.
Okay, question 1. Are we reading out who sent these?
No. Protect their identity.
Okay, cool. For general population that just want to get fit, is training for enjoyment or practicality better?
I've been criticized by some people I moderately respect for being too utopian about my attitude towards this question over the years, because I've always been, and I think I back my own opinion on this, enjoyment is king. Because it's ultimately we need to, our role with the general population is stewards of public health. And in order to be a healthy person, it's ideal to engage with some form of exercise and other health-seeking behaviors like playing sport and socializing. There's so many healthy components of physical activity. And I think if you don't enjoy it, it's going to be really, really hard to stick with it in the long term. So in the interest of public health, it's always most important to build enjoyment first, because you can't go too wrong with it, you know? Pilates is about the hardest you can work and not build many physical qualities. But even that, like it's still enough to keep people. That's how amazing physical activity is. And especially in the optimal age of fitness, you know, where people are talking about all the ways you can fucking kill your gains with this science-based training nonsense that it's not science-based training, it's rules-based training. I think that can be really confusing for young PTs who are just like, oh no, I'm failing the general population if I'm not optimizing their training. No, cunt. It's the complete opposite. Entertainment. You want to entertain them with training. Make sure they fucking enjoy it, and you can worry about directing it into something that's much more productive and quote unquote optimized once you get them bought into the process, I guess. Like I said, some people are going to come to you with more specific goals than others. But again, I think even a lot of people, like a lot of obese people, I think are just sort of being pressured to come in and tell a personal trainer that they don't want to be obese anymore. And again, for a lot of obese people, that's probably true. And again, so then it sort of goes down this shitty bodybuilding prep because that's the quickest way to get someone a result in the direction that they're sort of looking for. And again, it's so fun. It's awesome when that works out for people. But again, I think a lot of people, they just need to find something they like. And like I said, some people fucking love bodybuilding training, and that's awesome, but a lot of people don't end up enjoying it. I can't tell you how many overweight people who have, again, wanted to lose weight for health reasons. You get them playing a sport, get them socializing through exercise and stuff, and they just fucking love it. So yeah. For Gen Pop, enjoyment is king. And I train high level people, I can fucking say. And so this is another misconception about athletes. They all love it. And they'll push harder. Like, don't get me wrong, they work hard. They fucking love it. They love it. And we romanticize the grind of elite performers. They're like, yeah, you know, some days it was hard. and that's real as well, you know? The same way, like, you have shit days playing guitar, but you fucking love it. No one, you can't sit here and look me in the eye and be like, oh, I don't actually like guitar. Yeah, it's like, no. It's the same with all these like elite fitness people.
Yeah. And it's funny because hearing you talk about it a lot, like over the years, it does sound like to me your kind of whole mantra is almost like, well, not your whole mantra because you've just explained your whole mantra, but a big part of your mantra seems to be like almost working working with the client almost so that they enjoy the practical, like make the practicality bit of it enjoyable. You know what I mean? Like work towards what they like almost, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, and it's like anything, there's a middle ground and you've got to get a blend of the two, but like, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's real. I think it's real as fuck.
Because that's it. I've questioned this so much over the years because this was the attitude I had back at Fitty First, you know, working with a bunch of fat loss cunts. And Not all of them were, but again, 30 of them odd were. And there's nothing, like I said, nothing wrong with that. And they were sort of telling me that, like, Angus, not everyone's going to like exercise. Not everyone's going to go and play a sport. And I was like, yeah, I understand that. But it's, so many reasons for that. And part of it is because we have this fucking attitude in our industry. But then, yeah, my mate who was a trainer saw a obese lady who was obese, whatever. Obviously, her being obese doesn't define her. This is the whole fucking point, though. Because he approached her, and this guy is a really thoughtful person. He just had a dumb moment, and he knew he fucked up as soon as it came out his mouth. He said something to he went up to her, he's like, "Oh, you're looking to lose some weight," or something like that. And this was a really successful woman who was like just really confident. She was like, "No, go fuck yourself, cunt. Like, I'm here to train for a triathlon, and I will probably lose some weight when I do that, like throughout that fucking process. But no, I'm not here for your fucking shitty bodybuilding." She didn't say shitty bodybuilding prep, but anyway. So, and then she was like, "So which cunt here is going to fucking get me in shape for a triathlon?" And shout out to my mate Charles, who was like, "Angus is absolutely like the trainer for you." So, yeah, she sent me a message. Actually, no, he gave her my number, and then she just saw me on the gym floor like the next morning and just like yelled out. She was like, "Angus." And I was just like, who the fuck's calling my name? And just like, really interesting lady, like big Kiwi lady. And yeah, she just sort of explained to me, she's like, my mate just sort of explained it to me, like how the whole situation came about. He was like, I fucked up. And I sort of apologized for him. And she was just like, nah, fuck that cunt. I'm off him. She was like, anyway, I haven't always been obese. I got in shape one time, and it's because I prepped for a triathlon. She was like, never liked the idea of exercise. And then I learnt about this triathlon where you finish the run. The finish line is in a Colosseum in Croatia. And she was like, oh, that'd be so mad. But if I want to do that, I got to get in shape for it. So she like lost like 30 or 40 kilos and went and did the triathlon, and then lost a bit of motivation, as we all do at times, and then focused on work for too long and a couple of other things like move countries and stuff. And then she was like, let's do it again. Let's prep for another triathlon in Europe, sick Europe trip, get fucking shredded for that. And then she was like, then obviously she was a pretty intelligent woman. She was like, I need to obviously find something that's going to motivate me consistently, or she earned heaps of money. So she was like, in theory, I can just keep traveling around doing sporting events. And I was like, yeah, fucking keep earning that money, girl. Keep fucking paying me 3 times a week. This is amazing. And so like just things like that. And obviously that is some unique circumstances, but that was another strong GPP seed that was planted in me. So really grateful for that experience.
Hell yeah, that's fucking sick.
What the fuck question am I answering? I just went on a rant, didn't I?
No, that's cool. That's why we're here.
Still the first question.
It is. Okay. Question number 2. Do you ever snatch?
Yeah, I was snatching a fair bit like last year, but then I was just like, I don't have a specific snatch goal. I do have a specific clean and jerk goal. And from an athleticism point of view, like, yes, there are differences between a snatch and a clean and jerk, but within my system, a snatch and a clean and jerk for the purposes of athletic development are interchangeable. So just focusing on that for a little bit. Once I knock off the 140 kilo clean, not necessarily the clean and jerk. I want to clean and jerk it as well. But I want to clean 140 before I go to New Zealand, and then we'll bring back snatching and jerking when I get back from New Zealand.
Hell yeah. Okay.
So sometimes is the answer.
If you cut down a set/time in your overall workouts, do you then lose muscle quicker?
Sometimes. Maybe you gain muscle. If it's a better dose of training, that's the whole thing. You just try it out and you see how you respond. And if you can't work that out for yourself, you hire a coach or you do GPP level 1. Questions like that, I try to not get mad at. I don't want to be Paul Carter. I've caught myself having like some Paul Carter mannerisms, the way I get back to questions that I perceive as silly, but it's not that. It's not that they're dumb questions. They're actually good questions. It just freaks me out that, like, I know it's because they've been told other things and they don't have a good grasp of the training principles. And then that brings out anxiety and aggression in me. And I just need to fucking try to be more fucking helpful. Right, can I give a more helpful? No, that was a helpful answer. Yeah, experiment. Believe in your own ability to assess whether or not training is going well. Because that's another thing people ask me. They're like, how will I know if it's working? I'm like, what do you mean, cunt? You're progressing towards your goals in an objective and measurable fashion, even subjectively. Like, yeah, sorry. Anyway, move on, please. I'm working on it. Fucking working on it, eh?
Okay. Opinion about functional patterns and the results they have. Oh, Christ. Strap in.
Ass. Just ass. It's just like they get people to stand up a bit straighter and then they're just like, oh, fuck, top athletes should train how we train. Let's move on before we get litigated.
Okay. When do you use deep tier pliers?
We absolutely love doing this show. And one of the most exciting things for us is watching it grow because it means we can commit more time to it, as well as have access to better guests to bring you even more quality content. One of the most impactful ways you can help us grow the show is by shouting it out, screenshotting this episode, and sharing it on your stories to let people know that you're listening. Don't underestimate how influential you can be on helping us grow this show, and we appreciate it so much. I use it a lot of the time as an intro to players, like where people don't have the capacity or the skills acquired yet to perform a lot of more intensive variations. I'll often use a lot of deep tier stuff. Like I said, because it is just, if someone hasn't been moving quick in a while, there's like, we don't need it all at genuine plyometric speed. And so we can have some deep tier stuff because it's still way faster and a lot more forces than what they've been dealing with a lot of like just regular weightlifting movements or stuff like that. But I look at the catch of a clean as a big deep tier. You know what I mean? Like I'm sort of, so like principally, if you weren't doing Olympic lifts, I think loaded deep tier stuff is a phenomenal substitution. But yeah, so like I said, like a lot of where I would be using deep tier, I'm kind of covering it with Olympic lifts, but again, it can be used in a similar sort of fashion. I also, one of deep tier plyos where it has the most amazing upside is when you want to smash legs. I mean, you could smash chest as well with similar, all your body parts in theory, but it's definitely easier to get a really sick lower body workout with deep tier plyos and feel like you've had a crazy leg session. Again, different sort of stimulus, but yeah, it's really, really good to get I think a strength training effect, like a pretty solid strength training effect, and like maybe even some hypertrophy potential out of that. But yeah, you put them fucking anywhere. I don't know. If you need some eccentric rate of force development, get stuck into it. It can also be good for if you just got someone who's just a bit of a shit. Sorry, nah, that's not helpful. Oh, whatever. Let's move on.
Is your training program shit cunt friendly?
Yeah, no, honestly, like, yeah, because it's such a good bridge. Okay, so why I'm catching myself is like, because I know Matt would have so much more to say here. He's like, cunt, it's not just used as a bridge and then you move on from there. But no, but I've sort of said that. Like I said, I just substitute in other stuff. It's also good. Like, I feel good now that I'm not purely parroting Matt Watson's system. Shout out to Matt Watson for like, yeah, there was probably like at least a 12-month period where I didn't have a single original thought about plyometric training, and it's credit to his system because I was like, this is just the best shit ever. It's still amazing.
Hell yeah. We need to get him on the show soon, actually. It's been a little while.
Under.
In fact, we should get him on for one of these, do a Q&A with him. Anyway, sorry. I'll take that out.
It could be good.
Sorry. Okay, here we go. The next question is, are ACLs overrated? Am I missing something here? Like,
no. You could make the argument that, I don't know. Okay, so I think it's not the wildest assertion to make that ACLs could be overrated, because I do believe that people return to certain sports without an ACL. Having said that, I'm not really sure how it goes, and I'm not sure what sports they are. Like, could you return to powerlifting without an ACL? Again, I don't even know specifically, but I would assume that, for example, powerlifting is probably something where you could have a better crack at it without an ACL. But then I don't know how people are going with high speed, change of direction, rapid deceleration sort of stuff. I mean, squats are pretty decelerative, but on two legs. I think there might be some things where it's just like not an option without an ACL. But then again, it seems like things are getting so much more optimistic. But again, when I say that, it's more for the ways we can heal an ACL, not necessarily what you can do without an ACL. In the ACL space, it's so fucking exciting, this idea of like non-surgical ACL healing. Actually, this is a really good litmus test to sort of see the public zeitgeist. Have you heard about this, Harvey? What's your perception when you hear someone's done an ACL? Are you immediately thinking like, oh, that's like a year out, potentially longer?
I have so many thoughts about this, right? I'll try. I won't get into too much of them. I have so many friends that have done ACLs. Like you, if you looked at the group I went to school with, I'm honestly a bit like, was there something like in the water during the years we were at school? Because there's hardly a functional ACL between them. Like honestly, like they've all just fucking done them double basically. Anyway,
soccer. All your mates played soccer though. Don't get me wrong. You can do ACLs doing it. Really? Okay.
Or like did a little bit of a lot of them did, but like one of my mates played AFL. He did one. Okay. He did at least one.
No, you do. Yeah, AFL. All the footy codes love doing an ACL.
Yeah, and then even on top of that, did I tell you about Nick, the guy that plays drums in my band Gosh, did his ACL like a few years ago? Did I tell you about this?
Yes, no, it was a funny story from memory. It made me laugh quite a bit.
Yeah. Long story short, he went to, you know, those like punching things you get at like time zone where you punch it as hard as you can and it like gives you a rating. He went to like karate kick it, like fly kick it, missed. And then like just like completely destroyed me. Completely destroyed it. Apparently like the doctor that did it is like apparently the dude that like does loads of the surgery for like Dragons players. He's like the guy. Nice. And apparently he was so excited. Like when he came in to see Nick, he was like, "This is amazing." He was like, "Everyone tears theirs here. You've done it like here." And he was like, "I've never seen one like this in my life. Like, what did you do?" And Nick was just like,
you would have to tell that story so many times.
Oh, bruv, it was fucking hectic. And also just because it's time zones and there was like little kids everywhere, like he's just like sat on this chair waiting for the fucking.
Well, anyway, so nowadays there's this thing called a cross bracing protocol. So, and it's something you can do where like ACL surgery apparently can wait. Like, and I'm not sure, maybe the recovery gets a little bit worse or something like that if you do delay it. I'm not really sure. And again, a lot of this stuff is we're more uncertain about now. And I think it's a big area where research is going to be really interesting. Like they're doing a lot of research on it currently. There's also been not a lot of papers. And again, I think a lot of the papers that are getting published are just at a case study level. I don't know if there's been many big cohorts. Oh, sorry, there's definitely been some cohort studies, but again, primarily a lot of the real great stuff you're hearing is from case studies. But again, that's a solid form of evidence. And so, yeah, they just put you in a knee brace with completely fixed range of motion, I believe. And then there's sort of a protocol I think it's every 2 weeks off the top of my head for a 12-week period. They give you back, and I don't know what the increments are. There's like a protocol for increasing the degrees of freedom at a knee. So it is bent at a 90-degree angle, I believe, at the start, but then they start giving you like whatever, 5-10 degrees back. I don't know what it is every 2 weeks. And then that is strength training the whole time through the range of motion that you have. And a lot of the ACLs are healing. And again, early days, this was sort of something that was pushed on people who weren't necessarily going to return to sport. It's just like, no, I just did it. I just need to be able to walk around and be a functioning human being. But now even for people who are returning to sport. But that, like I said, but then we have surgeons fucking hate it. Like a lot of surgeons. And this is what's coming up a lot. It's generating a lot of discussion about like informed consent to surgery. Like there's so many people aren't being told about this. And it's partially because information takes time to spread through such a vast industry, but it's also because like there's a bunch of people who earn big money from ACLs. And ACL surgery is not a conspiracy by any means. Like some people just straight up need it. But again, if it goes well, the cross bracing protocol will return you to play quicker, and it's so much cheaper. And it's also like, I think people are now starting to wake up to the fact that surgery is quite an ordeal. Like, yes, it's to set up healing, but the event itself can be fucking gnarly. And like the fact that there's a far less invasive and far cheaper protocol, I think that's fucking tops.
Yeah, I also think it's interesting because when you say ACL, right? Because I don't know anyone who's ever only done their ACL. Like I pretty much.
So they've done big ones. A lot. Like, it's very common to just do your ACL for your information.
Because pretty much everyone.
Very common. I would say.
It's
I'm not an expert on this. I would say it's most common to just do your ACL. You can also just do MCL, LCL, PCL. Did I just name all of them? Anyway, you could do any combination of them or just one of them, and not wild for like multiple of them too if you really shag your knee sideways.
Yeah. Yeah, because
in a twisting motion.
Like the amount of people I know where the doctors are like, it's quicker if I tell you what you haven't done, like type situation. It's like pretty astounding.
I think meniscus is another one maybe that goes at the same time. You can damage a meniscus.
Yeah, it's interesting though because the other side to this, and again, I'm probably not like that in that much of an informed position to talk about this, but in terms of my general perception of it, it seems like as far as like professional soccer players go, it's becoming way more dealable with. In that, like,
100%. All of this stuff is progressing.
Yeah, but like the ACL kind of like was, or like, you know, that kind of a thing, or maybe it was like the knee in general, but like was kind of one of those injuries that like it was a bit like, are they going to come back from this? Like, no, are they going to fucking ever play again? But like, are they going to be the player they were type thing? And like, you know, Virgil van Dijk, who's fucking Liverpool centre back and like probably been the best centre back in the Premier League over the last like 6-ish years without thinking too hard about it. Like, yeah, he did his ACL a few years ago and like completely fucked it. Like, you should have seen how he did it. It was fucking cooked. And like, you know, had a season where he was a little bit not quite where he is, but like he's just had like that last season, this season that's just finished now, he's like honestly like returned to form.
A lot of the talk around return from ACL that was previously like not really acknowledged, it's like the psychological trauma as well. I think that is usually at high performing sport, that is typically, I would say, the biggest thing that affects late stage rehab and actual return to play.
When will the dream home gym come?
I've got my dream home gym. I've got a sled and a nature strip so I can do resisted sprints. I've got an adjustable rim in the driveway, and I've got a flywheel in my spare room. So I'm pretty fucking sorted. And the dream home gym is to leave your house occasionally.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've got the ocean. You got the ocean on your doorstep, baby. That's the dream gym, right?
Yeah, that too. Yeah, it's called the third space. I mean, we got multiple spaces, but yeah, just lifting outside your house. Oh, like I said, when I knock out a few kids, probably singing a different tune. No, I don't think so. But yeah, like I said, I understand it for some people, especially parents and people who are living in a global shutdown. But seeing as we're not doing that anymore, I appreciate the gym.
Hell yeah.
Next question.
Okay. Should a new coach...
Shout out to Jesse.
Should a new coach give one-to-one personal training before online coaching /programming?
Alyssa Olenek, Doc Liss Fitness, she didn't do any of that.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, and she's an awesome coach, gets good results. I really romanticize being in the trenches, I would call it. She's in the trenches in her own fucking way. She's deeper in trenches than I've ever been in trenches. But yeah, I sort of romanticize that, like do 1,000 face-to-face sessions. But is that me being like, because I roll my eyes, not that I compete in jiu-jitsu or even train it, but when people are like, you should do stuff in a gi, and I'm just like, I mean, if you only care about no gi, shut the fuck up. So yeah, I don't know. My perspective is changing, but I still G Jacob up a bunch to go get it can only help. Like Alyssa was doing a fucking PhD. That's why she didn't coach face to face. So if you're not coaching face to face and you then want to go into online coaching for some reason, it's like maybe there should be some constraints on your ability to coach face to face. That's why you should have an excuse.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay, how important / valuable are activity trackers like Garmin?
I'm buying an Apple Watch because if I go missing at sea when I'm in New Zealand, I can hit a button and the local people with boats will be alerted. But I don't know. I think they're an erosion of self-awareness. You know, you're like, how do I feel? Let me check my. Sorry, nah, I'm being a bit. No, whatever. This is how I feel about it. Yeah, I just reckon, like I said, just whenever I talk about this, people are just like, nah. But sometimes I'm so disassociated from my. I shouldn't joke about, like, there are a lot of people who've been fucking traumatized or whatever happened to them, and just disassociate from their body. So wearing a whoop strap's probably helpful. But if you're not one of those people, I'm like, what are you fucking doing, cunt? What do you mean you don't know if you're tired? Fuck, sorry. But I guess for tracking steps, I don't know. Fit people don't need to track steps. Like, my crowd doesn't need to track steps. If you're in a bodybuilding prep, I get it. Why else do you need one? If you're an idiot and you can't work out how long you slept for? Yeah. I'm softening my stance just due to, like, trying to maintain relationships with people in the industry. But yeah, I still think they're pretty fucking stupid, if I'm honest.
With all the athletic gurus online now spurting nonsense, what's your definition of athletic?
We have our GPP standards, and I can't tell how much of that is, like, do I genuinely think they are standards, or is it just because they're close to my PBs? But anyway, I'm just going to rattle them off. So what we threw out there, and we've had these standards for some time. So, what is it? 2 times body weight back squat, 1.5 times body weight bench, 1.5 times body weight power clean, run a sub 20-minute 5K, hit over 9 meters a second, max velocity. I think that's sort of it. And then, like I said, it's sort of just, when it comes to standards, it's like, man, human ability and maybe also potential, but definitely ability, it's so vast. And, like, because here's the thing, right? Like, I still do it in some form, but I used to really get on my high horse. It's like, fucking anyone who's, like, below this standard fucking sucks. But then you got to think about how you're making your clients feel. Because sometimes I've been like, oh, anyone who can't deadlift 200 kilos is a shit cunt. I mean, all my clients can deadlift 200 kilos. Pretty sure they can. Oh, one of my females couldn't. And Jacob can't deadlift 200 kilos yet. I think about that. Like, I'm calling Jacob a shit cunt, but, like, Jacob's a wep. He can dunk a basketball. He was actually good at sport back in the day. So, and it's like, okay, so, like, but then again, you got Usain Bolt. Like, we exist in the same timeline and planet as him. What right do we have? Be like, oh, I'm a bit of a weapon. Cunt can run like fucking 12.4 meters a second.
Yeah. We'll wait.
So I don't know. So I have my GPP standards, but if anyone questions them, it's like 100%. I get it, because it's like, who elected me as? Well, no, I appointed myself as GPP standard man. I stand by that. But as far as, for athleticism, like, you make your own standards. If you want to be humbled, look at, like, global standards, though, for, like, what you're trying to do. It will just put you in your place. Hopefully you find that motivating. If you don't, just ignore it. Next question.
Yeah, we need to wait till Jacob's on the pod to call him a shit cunt so he can at least defend himself. Eat back active calories from cardio if BMR is already adjusted to a deficit, then in brackets to keep deficit the same.
Mate, I don't deal with weight loss. You got the wrong show. Sorry. Go train hard and eat tasty food. Eat when you're fucking hungry. Get off your diet. This could be damaging advice. Whatever. Anyway, we're not. Yeah, I don't give that sort of advice. See if Tom Clark. All my favorite nutritionists, I swear they're always leaving the industry. Shout out to Mac Baker, hitting the tools, working on building sites. Fuck was like, fuck nutrition. Tom Clark is on his way to becoming a doctor, but I'm pretty sure he's still in the nutrition game. He did the nutrition unit for GPP Level 1. So go ask him your nutrition questions, because he's a weapon and he gets it.
Sick.
And he has patience for that sort of thing. I've had a fucking visible six-pack since I was 4 years old. Like, don't ask me about nutrition.
What's his handle?
Tom Clark something. I think it's Tom Clark Icarus, actually. You'll find it. You can just, if you're that hungry to get nutrition questions answered, yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay. When are you doing your first discus competition?
It might happen next track and field season. say if I hit my goal early in the first couple of events, there could be some opportunities to throw a discus really badly. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to get into a few of the field events. But yeah, I don't know. Potentially summer. It won't be pretty though. That'll be me like learning it in the ring, you know? But hopefully I need to, there's some people I could hit up to do some good field sessions. So maybe get some field work in. Maybe you've inspired me. Next question.
Sick. Do you think James George will be a contender for top spot at Push Pull Run?
Nah, he's going to get absolutely pumped by me, by Jesse, and potentially some others. And I love James George. He's a beloved member of the GPP Level 1 community. He's a respectable lifter and runner. But it's just how it is.
Reverse your own question on you. 3 favorite athletes of all time.
All right. There's so many honorable mentions I could go through, but I'll save you because I want to do some serious glazing here. Kelly Slater. Like, people talk about, you know, your Tiger Woodses, your Michael Jordans as superlatives. Like, people would be like, or even people put LeBron James in that category, or Michael Schumacher. But yeah, like in other sports, people are like, oh, this is the Tiger Woods of that sport. This is the Michael Jordan. And no one is that to the level that Kelly Slater is. There's going to be some sport I'm not fucking thinking of. I'm across a lot of sports, but as far as a sport, and this is a bias of mine, that's like actually popular, especially at the time Kelly Slater was at the peak of surfing. Again, anything you can say that Michael Jordan did for basketball, Kelly Slater just did that so much more for the progression of surfing, for the growth of the sport, like establishing like who that fucking cunt is. He literally ran through 3 generations of surfers. He showed up as a young man on the world tour and absolutely fucking pumped him. He didn't win his first 6 back-to-back, but he pumped out 6 world titles in maybe it was like 8 years, maybe it was 9 years. And then he had the best rivalry in the history of surfing with Andy Irons. Broke the man. Actually, and it's intense, like, because Andy Irons is no longer with us. And no, Kelly didn't cause it in any way, but I wonder if Kelly thinks about how hard he played against him. Like Kelly Slater, the morning of the Pipe Masters, it was the final event of the tour. Him and Andy Irons were going head to head in the final. Whoever wins that wins the world title that year. Kelly Slater did a home invasion. He jumped his backyard fence when Andy Irons was eating breakfast. And they had like a public feud and rivalry and stuff, and just walks up to him while he's at the breakfast bar in his own house. He's like, I love you, man. And just lets it air out and then turns around and leaves. It's just like full, like, because you know how people talk about like Michael Jordan, like not necessarily the hero that you want to meet. Apparently you can be like not the friendliest bloke, or like he did have a little bit of a dark side. Like Kelly doesn't have it like in a John Jones way. I think John Jones really personifies that elite sports sociopath. But John Jones and Lance Armstrong, that's why I left out of those, like the fucking guys in their domain. Like they really have that like sociopathic, psychopathic sort of side to them. But Kelly, he's got a little bit of it, you know. They've all got a little bit of it, you know. Doesn't win a world title for fucking a long time, then goes 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He won 11 fucking world titles. And like I said, there was some decent spaces in between. And it wasn't like there wasn't no one on tour. It was the era of fucking surfing. And like, but even to the point where Kelly Slater's generation, the momentum generation, they were the last frontier of surfing to push progression in a way that really wasn't associated with aerial surfing. Because these days when people talk about the progression of surfing, it's all about doing massive airs and stuff like that. And that was so before Kelly's time. But Kelly was still the first cunt to land a 540. And he's not even known for having a good air game. He just is the kind of guy who's like, oh, what's the fucking best thing that people are doing? Oh yeah, let me have a go at that. And then just doing it before. There were cunts that were going for that and getting so close. And it was their whole fucking pursuit for years. And Kelly just did it on a random windy Tuesday in Portugal. And He's just the fucking man. And not only that, he was the first cunt to make a good wave pool. Like, man. And then he was also the first guy to be like, nah, fuck these legacy surf brands. This industry sucks. I'm going to just make my own brand and rep that. What else can I say? I remember growing up, Dad was just like, I felt okay shaving my head because Kelly Slater was bald.
That is insane.
Like, fuck you, Jason Statham's. Like, Kelly Slater was one of the first cunts to be like, nah, fuck hair. Just went full bean mode. Yeah. If I sat here for a little bit longer, there's still plenty of other glaze I could sort of lay on Kelly Slater, but he just, yeah. Oh, sorry. He won a Pipe Masters the day before his 50th birthday. So gnarliest wave in the world. It's killed the most people more than any other wave. And it's just, I don't know, you would think by the time you get into 50, it's fucking hard. And that's what I mean. As far as like the same way Volk, I've watched Volk do things and genuinely been inspired, and it's challenged my own beliefs about my own potential. Like I worry about when I'm going to get worse at surfing. And I know I'm probably going to get worse at surfing before Kelly did. Like maybe I'll get a bit worse by 50, but maybe not. I know it's possible now because I saw what Kelly did. Okay, Ilya Ilyin. Ilya Ilyin is, he's not the Kelly Slater of Olympic weightlifting. I don't know if weightlifting has a Kelly Slater. There's a couple of people throw out there. Ilya Ilyin he made his international debut at 17, pretty much went undefeated in international competition until fucking a long time. I'm pretty sure it was more than a decade. Weightlifting has changed since then. It would be hard for anyone to recreate the magic of Ilya Ilyin, because back when Ilya Ilyin was at his absolute peak, or in the years where he was really thrashing cunts in the 94 kilo class and then the 105 kilo class where he just absolutely cleaned house as well. Qualifying for the Olympics was different, and you could kind of stay at home and do heaps of drugs while they sent out the B lifters to qualify. It was team-based qualification. So based on the overall weightlifting performance of Kazakhstan, that would dictate how many lifters Kazakhstan got to take to the Olympics. Whereas they realize now that a lot of countries were doing that to dope up their best athletes, keep them at home. They don't have to go out to qualification events. Just make sure they're clean in time for the Olympics. Whereas now it's individual qualification. You have to go out and do a certain amount of events in the Olympiad, and especially the year leading up to the games to sort of qualify yourself individually. But he just did some mad shit. And that's not even speaking to, Ilya didn't have any advantages over the other great lifters because, again, they were all doing it. But he's just a bit of a silly goose as well. Like he sort of was like one of the few weightlifters that actually seemed like he had a bit more of a personality, like really silly guy. So one of the things, like athletically, that makes Ilya such a fucking weapon, like clean and jerk. Like, yes, he could snatch amazingly, world-class fucking snatch. But when it comes to the elite of the elite, it was his clean and jerk that fucking did it. So the thing about Ilya Ilyin's clean and jerk was a couple of things. He pushes the bar forward in his first pull, which, like, weightlifting is such a typically Olympic weightlifting coaches are just fucking technique Nazis. So it's really good whenever you see someone at a high level just doing non-textbook technique, because you know at some point the coach just had to shut the fuck up because the lifter was performing so well, which is funny to me. But yeah, so he'd push the bar forward a little bit in his first pull, and then obviously have to like overcorrect and sweep it in really hard. Fucking what? I don't really think that's that special, but it's sort of interesting to see a lot of weightlifting coaches be like, how does he get away with it? And it's like, fuck, man, it's moving forward a couple of millimeters. But what was incredibly clutch was his jerk. So when you recover, so this guy, as a 93, his world record was 233 kilos. Then in his first comp as a 105 kilo lifter, he hits a 242 kilo clean and jerk. World record for the win in his home fucking nation. It's one of the most iconic weightlifting clips of all time. Watch the 105 kilo session from 2014 Worlds in Kazakhstan. That whole Worlds was good. The whole Worlds was good. You should also watch the 93s. If you watch the 105s and you G'd up, just watch all the fucking sessions from 2014 Worlds in Kazakhstan. But the ending of that clean and jerk session for the 105s in 2014 Worlds, it's cinema. It's cinema. Like fucking cunts who don't miss, missing back to back world records in clean and jerk. A young Ruslan Nurendinov. Who was the David Bezdanyan, the blunderer. Klokov used to make fun of the cunt. He's like, oh, fuck, he just makes a blunder of every big competition. Not this time. He was there to put his name in the record books, to try to etch them in the record books. But again, they're only there for about 2 minutes because Ilya Ilin lifted the last world record on that day. Sorry, anyway. But so when you clean and jerk 240 kilos, I mean, even 200 kilos, you stand up from the clean and then the weight will sort of be bouncing the bar and it would be oscillating. And Ilya would take advantage of this. So he would just go straight into his jerk. Oh, sorry, he wouldn't. He'd come up from the clean and then the bar would go bounce, bounce. And on the third bounce, he would dip down with the bounce. And that's how he sort of made the most of the oscillation. Whereas most lifters at maximal clean and jerks, like in order to pull that off, you have to time the clean perfectly. You cannot do a subpar clean. And they just happen at maximal weights. But not for Ilya. Every single fucking time, it was just a lock. No matter what he put on the bar, just perfect fucking clean. Not an ounce of fat on it as far as how high he pulled the bar, where he received the bar, flying out of the recovery, and then just whip, bang. Every single fucking, it's so horny. It's so horny. Because what most people do, they're fighting for their life just to stand up the clean. And then they'll sort of chill out, take a couple of breaths, regather himself. Coach will yell out a couple of cues from the sideline. Sometimes they really wait. If the clean really shagged them, sometimes I'll be sitting there for like 10 fucking seconds. But yeah, Ilya Ilin is just the most clutch clean and jerker of all time. And then finally, of course, no surprises. And this is really my number one, Alex Volkanovski, just for the impact on my life, the memories of just watching that cunt go out, just fucking, yeah, he's my GOAT athlete. He's just, he's a fucking legend. I mean, I've spoken enough about the great man on this podcast. I won't bore you with the detail again, but the Max Holloway series, the Ortega fight, the Makhachev fight, Makhachev won. Oh, Makhachev too. Makhachev won. Let me cover a couple of amazing Volkanovski memories. I mean, there was obviously when he got the belt. That was pretty special. Watching it down in, what's the pub called? Where's everyone playing Manly?
Moonshine? Hotel Stein.
Yes.
Hotel Stein.
That's it. Boom. Thank you. Saw him win the belt there. But then it was like, the Brian Ortega fight, I was just watching solo in my apartment in Bondi. I'm pretty sure we might have been in a lockdown then. But when Ortega sunk in the first choke, I ran out of the room. I was like, because again, before Volkanovski was really prominent in the UFC, I was a huge Ortega. I mean, I'm still an Ortega fan. He's such an entertaining fighter. And again, I knew my view of Ortega was as soon as he has a submission locked in, no one is getting out of that. Like I was the biggest Ortega grappling laser. I was like, I can't watch Volk lose the belt. Like I can't. I just ran out of the room and then just like I was listening. I was like, I just sort of heard the commentary. It didn't sound like the fight was ending. And I literally like a cartoon character poked my head out of the kitchen. I was just like, oh my God, he's fucking out. And then he goes in again. And like, anyway, I managed to just sit there and grit my teeth. I was like, is he really going to get out of a second submission? And then when he did, dude, I cannot describe the ecstasy I was feeling when he nearly ground and pounded Ortega out after he got out of that last choke. I was probably had an erection. I don't think I've ever been as G'd up in my life. Anyway, so that was like huge. But then the Yair fight as well. Oh no, sorry. Before that was for the Makhachev fight. I just remember I was with Matt Watson and Kean in New York. So that was just pretty memorable. Obviously being the only Aussie in the room and just fucking like literally climbing over the sports bar. Fuck, I was so fired up when he dropped him in the last round. But then as well, like really great memory on my last Europe trip. That was the day of Volkanovski versus Yair. And I was flying out for a European summer, couple of seminars in Europe, G'd up about that. But I was just like, fuck, hope I get a chance to catch the Volkanovski fight before my plane takes off. I was sitting there as the plane was going down the runway watching Volkanovski fight. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to be in the air and lose reception. I just won't know how the fight went. Volk literally finished him as the plane was doing that final, just like it was in the air when the ref waved off the flight. I couldn't believe it. I was just, yeah. He's just the man. Whatever you need, he can get the job done. And like I said, he's just a true legend. He's a good role model and stuff like that. I said I wasn't going to glaze him, but I can't help myself.
Yeah, well, here we are. Okay. Are you the best ollie lifter at warehouse?
Nah, Sam Tolman. Fuck. But I'm going to recruit him. I mean, we're in negotiations.
Nice.
He's a busy man.
Cool. What ball sports requires the most skill and or athleticism in your opinion?
It sort of depends what you mean by skill, right? Because like in NFL or American football, like they are so specialized, and like you could say that like, you know, the skill of someone like Tom Brady, or I mean, not even just the quarterback, like all the positions become quite skilled because they are also specialized and physical as well. Wait, was the question just skill or athleticism as well?
Skill and or athleticism.
And or fuck, it's too hard. But I guess they want an opinion, so it doesn't have to be right. It can just be my opinion. But yeah, I feel like I even need to just think about this for a little bit longer, because then like, did you see what they're calling potentially the greatest try in the history of rugby league happened over the weekend? It was a Roosters player.
No,
and he's running down the sideline and he's getting close to the in-goal area where you can put the ball down, score a try. He's probably 20 meters away from the goal line and he's running right down it. He's on a bit of a break, but the defenders have just gotten to him and he's definitely about to get pushed over the sideline. And just as he's about to get pushed over the sideline on his last step, he does a hop. So he doesn't put his right foot down because that would have taken him over. He hopped on his left foot, used his right foot to chip it. Like the ball was over the sideline, but obviously nothing was touching the ground, so it was fine. Does a perfectly placed kick because it's so hard. That's like the ultimate chip shot, right? He needed the ball to land in the in-goal, but it'd be so easy to just boot the fuck out of it in a situation like that. I mean, if you can even get your foot to the ball, he did a perfect kick and then he managed to score himself in the in-goal. Like run back around into the field of play. Go watch the slow motion of it. If you're an international listener, just look up NRL or look up National Rugby League or something like that, or just look up Roosters try. We should look up, what's the name of the player that did it? Mark Noah, and apologies, this is a bit of a surname, but trying to say it in a respectful way because he's an absolute legend. Mark Noah Kanitawasa. I'm definitely butchering that. I feel like you need to run through with some momentum, but hold on, let me have one more attempt at it. Anyway, it's the number 5 winger from the Sydney Roosters. First name's Mark. He's got a brilliant last name. I'm just struggling to get through it.
Nawakana.
Nah, you're missing an A between the T and the W.
Nawakana Tawase.
I think that was Nawakana Tawase. Cool. We'll settle with that.
Yeah, I'll try and edit that so that we don't.
That's all. People just want to see that you're putting in an effort. I think that's the biggest thing. I know Pacific Islanders are sick to fucking death if footy commentators pronouncing their names wrong, so we try our best. I think it is just about putting in a good, honest effort. Anyway, go check out that try. That was fucking crazy. No one's going to be able to spell that from the way we said it, but just go number 5 from the Roosters try or fucking whatever. There's plenty of highlights everywhere. I've got time for 2 more questions, and I really need a fucking.
That's great. We've got 2 questions left.
Just to happen. Not brilliant.
Cool. Why don't you have your new socks on?
They're in the wash, and my washing cycle is I'm not living with my mum anymore. You know, fucking Sharon was on that fucking 24-hour turnaround. That was wild, dude.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know if that was standard for kids growing up. Obviously, your life is easier as a kid, your mum doing your washing and shit. But I always appreciate that. I was like, someday I'm going to have to do my own washing. But it's the turnaround that I value and I miss from mum. She's a fucking machine.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Shout out to Sharon Bradley. Definitely one of the top all-time domestic athletes when it comes to fucking running a tidy household. Absolute weapon.
How come she didn't make your top 3?
Own division.
Okay. Going away for 4 weeks traveling, best ways to train with limited equipment.
Go to gyms. Where are you going? And if you're going somewhere that's like, there's no gyms around, it sounds like you're going on a cool trip. So just don't fucking work out. I don't know. Either there's gyms or there's not. And they can be expensive. Deep tier plyos in lieu of that. Get into your plyos. Fucking do chin-ups on a tree. I know you were for a better answer, but yeah, like, I don't know. I go to places and there's either gyms or there's not. Like, so for example, when I go to New Zealand, I mean, there's gyms in New Zealand, but I'm going to be driving around middle of fucking nowhere. So I'll be doing my deep tiers, my hill sprints, and be fucking chin-ups on trees and whatever. But then, yeah, it's fucking 2025. There's gyms everywhere. And if you don't want to pay, you don't want it bad enough. I mean, that does suck. I don't know. Maybe try to climb in through an air vent if you're worried about the casual visit fee.
Hell yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that's all the questions.
All right, excellent. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for listening. I'll catch us next time.